Hey everyone, welcome back to Realpolitik. Today we are going to be talking about the latest developments in Ukraine for May the 26th, 2023. Before we start, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get right into it. All right, so a Russian reconnaissance ship um, went through the Bosphorus Strait about 2 days ago. And what happened was somewhere in the Black Sea to the south here, the ship was attacked by three Ukrainian unmanned speedboats, drones, right? Speedboats packed with explosives. Now, in the last video, I showed you guys footage of this. Let's take a look again. And there's some new footage that has surfaced as well. But let's take a look at the original footage the Russians released. So that was the footage, right? The Russians, they claimed they destroyed all the boats, and this was one of them. They didn't show footage of all the boats being destroyed, just one. So there it is. All right, and now the Ukrainians responded by releasing their own footage claiming that the Russian ship was damaged. Let's take a look at that. This is from the point of view of the speedboat, obviously. And you can see that it cuts off right when it hits the ship. Now, some Russian sources responded by saying that they said basically, yeah, this speedboat hit the ship, but it didn't cause any damage. You can see bullets flying towards it, but they're not able to hit it. So this one made it through. And again, Russian sources are claiming the ship wasn't damaged, that the speedboat didn't detonate. At first, I didn't believe that, but now, just right before I was going to make this video, there was actually some footage that was released. And I'll show you that footage, but right before that, I'm going to show you this. These are photos that were circulating today, and these were from pro-Ukrainian sources alleging that this was the damaged ship. This was the damaged ship, and it turned out that this was misinformation. I mean, you can always do a reverse photo search, right? So I don't know. These guys are not too smart. Anyways, photo of the American destroyer USS Cole damaged by Al Qaeda in 2000. So that's just propaganda. And then let's look at footage of the ship, the Ivan Kurs, that just made it back to shore. And it doesn't appear to be damaged. So let's look at another footage, some more footage. Again, these have not been verified, but it appears like the ship has not been damaged. So maybe that one speedboat didn't detonate after all. We don't know. This this information, these videos just surfaced right before I was going to make this video. Anyways, okay, let's talk about the situation in Bakhmut. So in Bakhmut, Wagner has actually left Bakhmut. They completed their withdrawal, and the last thing they did before they left is they exchanged prisoners with Ukraine. And there's actually footage of that prisoner exchange. Let me find it. So this is the prisoners being exchanged. And there was the Russians, they gave the Ukrainians something like 106 prisoners that had been imprisoned for 100 days. So the Russians handed the Ukrainians 106 prisoners and two two dead bodies one of an American and one of a Turkish national. So let me just find that video. Yeah, this shows the prisoner exchange. This is Prigozhin. Prigozhin makes another one of his videos. And those are the prisoners. Their faces are blurred out. I'm surprised they went through the trouble of doing that. They're actually nice enough to do that. Anyways, Prigozhin speaks with them. Again, the volume is muted to avoid copyright strikes on YouTube. But yeah, Prigozhin speaks with them. I don't know what he's saying, but so yeah, there was again uh, 106 prisoners, 8 officers, and 98 soldiers. They were confined for 100 days, and the bodies of one Turkish national and one American national were also handed back to the Ukrainians. And let's just go forward a bit. Prisoners leave. This shows preparing the caskets of the 2 dead nationals. One American and one Turkish. So I'm assuming they're going to be flown back to their home countries. So this is the last thing Wagner did before leaving Bakhmut. So this is kind of like leaving on a positive note. But as I said and stated in my previous video, I don't think the Ukrainians are giving up on Bakhmut. They seem to be building up, uh, sending more troops to the front. And I think today a Wall Street Journal article came out. According to that article, there was a case of 16 Ukrainians that were sent to the front in Bakhmut. Some of them had no experience. One of them never held a gun. I think 11 of them out of the 16 were killed or injured or captured. But yeah, in the article it says Ukraine did that because they wanted to reserve their more well experienced troops for the upcoming counteroffensive, right? And a lot of people expected the counteroffensive to have already been initiated by now, but the Ukrainians are basically saying that they need more artillery, they need more ammunition, they need the F-16. So we're gonna end up seeing what happens with that. Um, but anyways, yeah. No, actually, you know what? I can't show this, but there's footage released today, and it shows a Ukrainian unit commander. He basically killed his own battalion commander. And it's very graphic, the footage. You can go on my Twitter and see it. But yeah, it's very graphic, the footage. He basically just shot him in the head. And I mean, I don't know if this is a trend, but when you see, when you're gonna send people to their deaths, a certain death, some people, I guess they lose it, right? So I don't know. This was a video was released, but this may have happened on. I mean, this might be more common than it appears because today video footage was released, but how often does that happen? I mean, right? You're gonna send people without proper training. You're going to send them on suicide missions. I mean, some people, they're just going to lash out, right? Anyways, enough of this video. So, let's talk about other things happening in Ukraine. So let's go to Avdiivka. So in the Avdiivka area, which is where the Wagner PMC, private military company, they might be heading there next because Avdiivka is pretty much operationally encircled. And there's a few settlements left and something like, if you measure it out, 8 kilometers, 5 miles until it's actually encircled. Now, to the west here, the Russians have been fighting for these settlements for a while now, for several months, without much progress. Pervomaiske, for example. But today, what the Russians did is they destroyed this dam right here. They destroyed this dam and flooded this entire area. You can see this river. The water goes south, and this entire area with all these icons, this entire area was flooded. And basically, let me see if I can pull up the picture of that. Yes, this is the picture. So you can see the dam was destroyed. Who knows, by probably guided, probably a Fab 500, I'm guessing, or some kind of guided rocket. But anyways, it was destroyed and it flooded the whole area. And now, if you look at the map, you can see that there's no way for the Ukrainians to easily send reinforcements. I mean, usually they would take this road, right? Right? Um, and then on the other hand, they could use this road that goes along that follows the river pretty much, but not anymore. They can't really send reinforcements, right? Either from the north or the south. So I'm expecting everyone, the analysts are expecting the Russians to make somewhat of a push towards Pervomaiske and then this settlement here to cover their flanks before they start to encircle Avdiivka. Of course, with Avdiivka, the Russians, over a month ago, they moved westwards. They took this whole area and they got to the railway, and that was very significant because the railway was the main source of it was the main way that the Avdiivka was resupplied. Why is Avdiivka important? Obviously, because if you look at it, it's like basically a Ukrainian salient, a bulge that allows the Ukrainians to have the range to more easily bombard Dnipro. I mean, sorry, Donetsk, the city of Donetsk, which they bombard on a regular basis, almost on a daily basis. I mean, you see the symbol right here. Missile strikes reported at Kalininitsk. No, I'm not good with names. Kalininitsky district of Donetsk. And there are one person killed. So, I mean, the Russians want to put an end to this, right? So if they take out the salient right here, it would help them. I mean, yeah, the Ukrainians could still launch rockets, artillery, whatnot, but it just makes it more difficult. And lately, the Russians have gained ground right here, and this settlement right here, Kamyanka, was taken recently. So basically they cut off this road right here, which is another main road that was supplying the town. A railway, a main source of reinforcements and supplies, cut off. So, I mean, there's a few roads here, over here. There's a few roads, but essentially these roads are under fire control. So, anyways, that is that. And let's talk about Kiev, and not just Kiev, but in Kiev, the Russians launched several Kh-101 cruise missiles at the city. The Ukrainians claim that all of them were shot down. Every single one was shot down. And in Dnipro, the Ukrainians are claiming that they shot down 23 Shahed 136 drones and 10 KH-101 cruise missiles and 2 Orlan 10 reconnaissance drones. That's what they're claiming, right? Um, might be true, but then on the other hand, there's contradictory evidence. And you see that here, 1 killed, 15 injured in Dnipro after supposed Russian missile struck a hospital. Um, so there's a few possibilities with this. The Russians could have struck this hospital on purpose. They could, maybe it was just filled with Ukrainian soldiers, right? That might be it. Maybe high-ranking officers. Who knows? But it might have even been it might have been it might have been debris. A Russian missile hit the wrong target. A Ukrainian air defense missile went off course. We've seen that happen before. So who knows? But this hospital was destroyed and the aftermath does not look pretty, right? So doesn't look good. You gotta feel bad for these people trying to recover in a hospital and then bricks fall all over, all on their heads. Um, Anyways, yeah, aside from that, there's missile strikes all over, drone strikes all over Ukraine. You see all these symbols for aerial threat alerts, sirens, these blue symbols, this one here, this one here. And specifically, there were Shahed drones targeting Izium and a town called Marefa? Yeah, Marefa. So this is what it looks like. Um, they obviously hit something. Who knows what it was, but um, there's that. And then also, let's see what else. So this is a map by Syriac Maps. If you can check him out on Twitter, he's extremely reliable. I'll put my link for my Twitter in the description below too, if you want to watch some of those clips I can't put on YouTube. But anyways, this shows how, according to him, and he's really reliable, according to him, the Russians have gained back some of the ground that the Ukrainians took in when they launched their little counteroffensive to free up the roads in and out of Bakhmut. The Russians seem to have gained back some territory, and I can show you right here. This is some new soldiers, allegedly DPR forces, who have been deployed to Bakhmut, and they're using artillery, and allegedly they destroyed an ammunition depot in the area, and this shows you the result of some of these artillery strikes. Ukrainian soldiers are running away. So, taking away an injured soldier. Anyways, what else do we have to talk about? 1 second here. So, anyways, let's look at some postings on Twitter. And yes, oh yes, this a glide bomb hit a Ukrainian warehouse in Kherson, a Fab 500. So I'll show you that from the beginning. Yeah, that's just devastating. So apparently, from what I'm hearing, Russia is hitting Ukraine with about 20 Fab 500s every day. And these are dumb bombs which have been converted to GPS guided glide bombs with a conversion kit. And basically, I mean, the Fab 500 has 1,000 pounds of payload, so you can see how devastating it is. And the Russians have thousands of these bombs, and they have Fab 1000s, Fab 2000s with a 500 5,000 5,000 pound payload. I mean, that's just crazy. Anyways, yeah, so aside from that, the Ukrainians also they also launched drones at Belgorod, and the Russians actually shot down the drone. Let me see if I can find that picture. Yes, here it is. That's what I was looking for. What the heck is this? Okay. So this is a picture of the drone that the Russians shot down over Belgorod. And this is a cartoon released by Rybar. If you remember, a few days ago, Russian, the Ukrainian-backed Russian separatists. Some people insist they're not even, they're actually just Ukrainians pretending to be Russian separatists. But anyways, in the end, they went into the Belgorod region and their equipment got destroyed. The Russians struck them using artillery airstrikes, and in the end, you see these Humvees lying in a ditch, and they made a little cartoon out of it. Anyways, um, back to the map. So, aside from Belgorod, there was also this. Okay, here we go. So, we have in this region right here, it's the Morozovsk airfield. And I'm going to show you some footage of the Russians shooting down a drone that attacked the airfield. Let's look at it again. So yeah, the Russians shot it down. And in this area, there was actually there's more footage in the Krasnodar area. Some residential buildings were hit. Here's a video which shows the aftermath of some kamikaze drones hitting its target. Then let's take a look at this one. You see a little micro mushroom cloud forming in the distance, and the fire burning right here to the center right. And of course, we can look at some photos of the aftermath. You see in this building right here was struck, glass broken, and yeah, you can see how this building was struck by a drone. Anyways, this was all in the same region, the Krasnodar region, and the Morozovsk airfield. Anyways, yeah, in Belgorod, as I was making this video, this came up. Explosions in Shebekin district of Belgorod. So the Ukrainians seem to be really focusing on the border regions of Russia lately. And and yeah, in Avdiivka, this just happened about 2 hours ago. But anyways, so yeah, that's basically everything, guys. If you watch till the end, thank you very much. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.